Instagram? Okay. I think. Okay, yes, we are. We are live. Woohoo!
Hey.
So welcome to another Run Wild with Us, Ask Us Anything. I'm Lisa Kastner. I'm the founder of Running Wild, which now is Foreign Prince. And I'm here with some of our amazing editors, such as the fantastic Cecilia Kennedy. And we are here to answer any old questions that you may have. If you are watching this and it's not Thursday between 5 and 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern time, and you're like, oh my God, I totally have this incredible idea or question or what have you, just go ahead and pop it into the comments section, because we actually do check these throughout the week. And we will do our very best to answer whatever that question may be in the subsequent week. So before we get started, first, I don't have my filter on for my background intentionally because I thought you might actually find this interesting, what my office actually looks like. So my office right now is a combination of guest room with a guest bed, including a life-size teddy bear, a storage room because and you may actually, this might be kind of interesting for some folks. So once a year, our distributor goes through their warehouse and they look at what hasn't sold. And I want to say like the last 3 years, something like that. And they usually shoot me an email and they're like, hey, Lisa, do you want these? If you don't want them, we're just going to destroy them. And I know they do that for all of the publishing houses. So these are the books that I always say, yes, ship them to me. So these are the books that I accepted. And what I've been doing lately is when I go to events that are local or semi-local, I actually sell them for like $10 a pop. And then I give all the money to Habitat for Humanity. So that way it's like a win-win-win, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what makes this even funnier is I think sometimes they're just so tired that they don't really look at what press the book originated with. And when I go through these, half the time they're not running. They're they're not our books. They came from like, another, in some cases, super well-known publisher that I didn't even realize was considered a small press. And I'm like, oh, okay, freebie, woo.
Yeah.
So that's what you've got behind me. Latest and greatest in terms of this week. Oh my God, it's been a mishmash. I had some personal tragedies that I won't go into because I know I'll probably booger cry. But one thing that was kind of funny. Actually, this happens somewhat regularly. I get invited to stuff, and I don't know how I got invited to it. Like I'll just get this invitation, and I think they sent it to the wrong Lisa, because I don't know like how this is even possible. And I actually got a membership to the Los Angeles Pacifica. I believe they're called Pacifica Carmonica, and it's a professional orchestra, or like a smaller classical music orchestration, which I am actually a huge classical music fan. So the fact that I somehow randomly got, these tickets was incredible. And by the way, the performance that a dear friend of mine and I saw on my birthday was absolutely breathtaking. But similarly, I somehow got invited to a private showing of Sinners with the one that's in the I don't think it's in the theaters right now. But it's online with Michael B. Jordan, and that was directed by and written by Ryan Coogler. And I accepted it because I thought, oh, this will be fun, right? But it was shown. It had like a preview from 5 to 6, like a reception, and then they were going to show the film, and then there was going to be like a Q&A afterwards, and then a party after that. Well, I ended up so backed up with work that I didn't even finish all my work stuff until like 6. And when I checked, it would have taken me an hour and a half to get there. So I would have basically missed everything. So Ryan, Michael, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. And whoever invited me, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry I didn't show up. I kept going online trying to decline and apologize, and the dang application wouldn't allow me to do it. So it just kept saying, yes, we acknowledge that you've accepted. I'm like, but I'm not trying to accept. I'm trying to tell you I can't make it. Like, I want to be there, but I'm so sorry. But anyway, so that was my big oopsie, I guess you could say, for this week. Now, what the real focus of this is going to be today. First, I want Cecilia, if you would tell everybody about what's been going on in your life. Is there anything that you want to share that's you're like excited about?
So I just finished editing a book for a Running Wild Press author, and that is very exciting to be able to hand that off to the next step. And so it's an amazing, amazing story. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't know what I'm allowed to say yet because it's not out there yet, but just a lovely author to work with, and I enjoyed the project immensely. So that's one down. I have several more to go. I have meetings set up with different authors, I think 2 or 3 new authors. Every manuscript that I have now, I have done one read through for, except for one that I promised I would do in January. So I have a read through for all of my authors now. And I have one who's making really fast revisions. So I think I might be done with hers soon, within the next couple of months. But yeah, so it's exciting. A lot of manuscripts that I'm working on. And yeah, that's pretty much been my life. And then also, we're still judging that contest for Flash Fiction Magazine.
Oh
So
my.
that's still happening. I'm still slowly sending feedback to authors. So if you're waiting for something from Flash Fiction Magazine, it's still happening. It might be for a while.
That's awesome. And so for everyone as well, anyone who is in one of our novella anthologies, I know it's taking me forever to get through and edit everything. And actually, right after this, I'm going to quickly eat dinner, and then I'm going to go back to editing the novellas. I promise you it will get done. I know it feels like it's taking forever. And I really, truly apologize, but we are getting there. So just so you know. So Rod Hatfield asks, so when is the 2026 book list coming out? Oh my God, Rod, your question is absolutely so incredibly timely. So we actually, tomorrow is a private party at my house I basically invited everyone who's been a big supporter of ours, as well as anyone we've published, anyone in the last 10 years, because next 2026 is our 10-year anniversary. And privately, they will all receive actually the list of books that we are publishing in 2026, as well as a list of a ton of special events that we're going to be conducting, both online and ones that we're going to participate in person. So to piggyback on that, on December 15th, Monday, December 15th at, I believe, 4:30. Yes, 4:30 p.m. We will actually have a live stream where we will be providing the same announcements of all the phantasmagorical books that we are publishing in 2026, as well as all of the incredible special events that we're going to be having, both again online and in person. My one big caveat to this is that I know we're going to have more than what I have listed in this current events presentation, I guess you could say, just because I know how we are freaking everywhere all the time. So one of the things that I am going to do is I am going to be providing, as a part of this, a QR code, so that, let's say you go to it and you attend our event, and then it's like February or it's March, and you're like, you know what? I just want to see if there are more places than where I thought. Like, I thought I remember this, but maybe I'm wrong. It's so that you can go back and double check and triple check what exactly is going to be going on. And we are going to continue to use like this Ask Us Anything and any other event that we have as a way to kind of keep you in the loop on what we're up to, because we're amazing at having our hands basically in everything, So now, with that said, we actually literally on Tuesday night, we just went through all of the submissions that we had up until so what, Tuesday was the 9th. I'm going to say everything we had until the 4th as a submission. We went through and either accepted it or declined it. So what I thought would be really cool, and by the way, guys, you can still go ahead and put in questions, any questions you have, into the comments section, because we would love, we love questions. I mean, that's the whole reason why we're here. And now we've got Peter. Woo! Yay!
What's the whole reason we're here?
To answer anybody's questions.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're like, damn, I thought it was something better than that. Nope, that was it. So, but for tonight, what Cecilia and I were talking about doing was talking about like what each of our processes are in terms of reviewing and like acquiring all these incredible stories. Does that sound cool?
Good. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
I got the process, but sure, I'll contribute.
Well, good. Then that just means I'm going to pick on you first. That's all. So with that in mind, so Peter, what is your process for when you're reviewing stories, not just for Running Wild, but also for Trompe l'oeil or Loy? You always
Exactly.
Thank you.
I look for voice, first of all. I look for voice. I look for image. I look for continuity in terms of, do the words flow? Does the story flow? Does it take me? Do I find myself delving into the story, delving into the images, and seeing the world of the story? I don't want to just read words. I want to see the images. I want to see, the rain pelting the window, and the window being open, and the drops getting under the windowsill and splashing on his or her arm, that kind of thing. So I'm feeling it, seeing it, tasting it, hearing it, kind of thing. So it involves all the senses. And that's a high mark. So I mean, not all stories, a lot of stories don't hit that, and I understand that. So I do make concessions, not to be an arrogant guy, but, it starts with the
you've earned that arrogance. I'm just saying. I mean, you've had several books named among the best of the year by Kirkus, so I think you've more than earned that arrogance. But keep going.
I want a story that grabs me right from the start. I don't want a story that starts out with, when he waited for the thing to happen. I'm like, don't tell me that he waited for something to happen. Tell me what exactly he's waiting for. Tell me why he's waiting for it, and tell me why it's important to him. And then move on with what's going on with the suspense. There was a knock at the door. Kind of like there wasn't a sudden knock at the door. There was a knock at the door. That's sudden enough. So it's like the little details do make an impact. I could cruise above those, but it just in terms of, does the story pull me in? And every once in a while, and I'm happy to say it's every like 8th or 9th, maybe 10th story, I'm reading 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pages in, and I'm forgetting about what's going on. And those are the stories that I pick. The ones that I just start reading. I mean, because I really enjoy reading, and I want to see what's going to happen next. So those are the ones that I tend to lean on, or kind of lean forward, because they caught my attention. they're gripping, they're fascinating, and I want to keep reading. And those are the ones that I tend to vote for. You know, in terms of Trompe l'oeil, I take it to the next level.
Mhm.
But in terms of stuff I edit or stuff I raise or I check off as I support this book, those are the ones that keep me reading, the ones I choose for. So
Cecilia, what about you?
It's very similar. So I start to read, and do I have a sense of a story that is forming as I'm reading? So, I mean, is there a story there, or I'm just getting details that are disjointed, or a lot of backstory, or a lot of information dumping? I want to see a story developing right away. And once you're hooked, the ones that you do continue to just keep flipping those pages, keep going, those are the ones I do tend to pick as well. And then I also consider, okay, it's a great story, but is it a fit for Running Wild Press?
Mm.
Does it have lots of different genres mixed in? Is there a sense of complexity in there that is so trademark of Running Wild Press? So you can have a great story. It could be a fantastic journey for a reader, but does it fit the press? So I'm looking at those two things and balancing them as I make my decision.
Wow, those are fabulous approaches.
Yeah.
I feel boring in comparison.
I do too a little bit.
Fall in love with a concept. I do. Sometimes I do have a gut reaction when I hear a concept or I see a concept there. And so the story might not always be together. There might be some flaws, but I see a lot of potential in it. So that's also there as well.
Yet, admittedly, I start to read it, and if in the first couple of pages, I mean, the voice has to really sing for me.
Mhm.
It has to be engaging. I have to be able to, Peter, I think to your point, I have to feel like I'm being drawn into a world. And, you know, you can do world building in any genre, right? I mean, I know that oftentimes people lean into, you know, you create worlds in fantasy. No. You create worlds in every genre. You know, truly excellent authors are able to do that, and they're able to pull in all of the senses, right? And also pull in the emotional engagement, where I actually give a shit about these characters, or like what's going on, or what's implied by what's about to happen, and I want to know, you know. And for me, the real killer of it is, this something that I would want to edit?
Yeah.
Because we get plenty of stories that they're good and they have potential, and I could edit it, right? But a lot of times the bottom line is this something that I want to invest the time, and I want to partner with this author to really make this just truly blossom into whatever its potential is. And you know, I was actually just watching Jonathan Mayberry's Ask Me Anything, and someone asked him like, you know, what's your golden rule, right? And he's like, you know, I think it's the 5 big rules. Don't be a jackass, don't be a jackass, don't be a you know. And you know, I'll be honest, like if the author comes in, and Peter can attest to this, we've actually had times where the author in their submission came across as a jackass, and the piece wasn't quite there. But we all, like in the acquisition session, we all saw that it had potential. Like it was something that we knew could become something great. But it was like, you know what, I think we need to get on a call with them, and to kind of see, like, you know, is it just that he or she happens to sound like a jackass, or are they truly a jackass? And none of us want to, you know, put the work in. And I know that is also a jackass statement, but understand I think I'm currently working on like 6 or 7 titles. Peter, you're working on like 8 or something like that?
3 to 5, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Cecilia, you're working on what, like 8, I think?
I lost count, but yeah. Something like that.
And anyone who's watching, that's for people who are in essence, I mean, we don't pay very high. We pay like $100 up front and then 10% net revenue to editors. And so anyone who's editing with us, they're not editing with us because they're going to become billionaires. They're editing with us because they want to. They're passionate about the stories that we're presenting to them. And a lot of people who come and work with us, they work with us because it's a good it's good to have on your resume, and especially since so many of our books do go on to win awards and get insanely fabulous reviews, and so on. So this isn't a if that's the case, if you're doing it because you're passionate about it, because you're doing it because you want to be doing it, then knowing up front that the person you're about to work with is a jackass is not really going to make you go, ooh, let's do this.
It's a labor of love. It really is, because we want to make these books. We don't know the authors. I mean, we meet them through email, and we just trust on faith that they're going to work with us. And we're not looking to get rich off of this. Would it be nice? Of course. Or looking to take someone's work and make it that much better through how many revisions it takes. But we're not doing this to say, hey, I did this. We're doing this to say, hey, Curtis, I want to make your book the best it can be, so that when it comes out, you reap the accolades. You get the awards. You win the everything. We're doing it for the authors, and they have to understand that this is not a major publishing house, and don't treat it like it is, because there's not a lot of money circulating. It's just the way it is. We're doing this out of a true labor of love, and I didn't really ever realize what that was until I joined Running Wild. And it's a wonderful feeling to be, wonderful thing to do, to be a part of, because I love editing, I love stories, I love words. It's just something that I just really love to do, because it's doing what I love for cause. I wouldn't be able to do it for anybody else without Running Wild at this point, So,
well, and honestly, and we're doing it for the readers, right? Because it's like when we get these submissions that we're like, and this happened in the last acquisition session, we all go through it and we're like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And if everyone, just so everyone's aware, because we get so many submissions and we can only really accept a handful is an exaggeration, maybe 40 total, something like that. If everyone says no, or like 3 out of 5 say no, then it's a no, right? And so that's why that one person who's like, you know what, I am actually really passionate about this. I know the author. I know this isn't their best work, but I know we can make it that, right? We'll accept that, right? We had a couple of those this last time where 3 out of 5 said no, but all you need is one who's going to come back and say, you know what, I'm willing to work on this. I'm willing to be the editor. I know this has potential that maybe others don't see right now, and I'm cool with that. And we will accept those. So, because again, it goes back to we vet. I mean, honestly, and again, this is going to sound jackassy. We vet our editors. We have a very specific type of editor that we select, and because we know they're skilled, they understand the craft, they know the craft, and it's all about collaboration and partnership to really make that story sing. So, if we don't have an editor who's going to say, yes, this is something that I really believe in, that I think can really make a difference, it can really be huge, it can be so much more, then if we don't have that, then we won't pursue it. So
right.
Rod says writers really should name their unsung heroes of writing their editor. smart authors know they need strong editors. Honestly, Rod, it's so funny when you hear like big name authors talk. A lot of the ones that's pretty much the sentiment. They talk about how they have very specific editors that they've worked with along the way who just changed their whole world, you know, in a variety of ways. So yeah.
I've had a couple authors that I've worked with that their work just keeps getting better and better and better with each novel that I workshop or edit for them. And I'm not saying it gets easier because there's more stuff to play with and more stuff to experiment.
Yeah.
But the little stuff falls away because they're getting it. And some of these people, you know, I mean, they're multiple book authors and they're still making the same issue, not mistakes, but they're stumbling over the same roadblocks that they were before. But they get better, and that's not because of me. That's because they're learning the craft even more from a different perspective, kind of thing. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then when I'm done with working with an author, when my part is over and I hand that manuscript off to you to take it to the next step, Lisa, I do tell them when I write to them that I want to keep in touch, but also I will name the characters, the character or characters I'm going to miss the most because I've closed that last page on them and I start to tear up. I really do. I tell them, I hope you write a sequel because I want to know what happens to this character. I really do fall in love with the characters as much as I do, you know, just working with the authors. I actually start to feel sad when it's over. So then, but I know that there's always a new acquisition session just around the corner, lots of submissions. So it's never really done. But when you get to that point in your editing and working with the author where you actually are thinking about those characters and you're living in that world, you know, it's time to hand it off. You know, it's done. And it feels really good. It feels really good to hand it off to that next step.
You're the editor every author hopes to work with. Absolutely.
Oh. But yeah, I mean, these last two especially that I just did, really felt it because you read and you read and you read and you read and you're reading objectively. Like, I don't like this. I don't like that. I mean, you're saying this in your head. You point things out. You try to soften it a little bit, but you really do work back and forth. And then at the end, I'm like, oh, but I'm going to miss these characters and, you know, and this work. Because then that last time you're reading it both objectively, but also like, oh, this is really good. It's good now. It was good before, but it's even better. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now, actually, kind of to Peter's point, we also all the time have authors request whoever they want as their editor. And either it'll be by name or they'll say, oh my gosh, I read, you know, Pocket Full of Teeth. I don't know who the editor was, but I would love to work with that editor. Or I read, you know, Stepsisters, and I don't know who the editor was, but I need to work with that person. And we always do our darndest to make that happen. So Rod says, one of the things I love about Running Wild Press, the editors really care about the story. They really put their hearts and best efforts to help the authors. Rod, I love you so much for saying that. I think that's true, but I'm also the most biased person on this live stream. But I mean, everyone just so just gives a shit, you know. I you know, to put it bluntly, it's because this isn't just about, you know, we're not picking stories because we're like, oh yeah, this could be kind of cool, whatever. We're oftentimes, if you know, if you ever have an opportunity to be in an editor's room in an acquisition session, our conversations are oftentimes about like, you know, how is this different? How is this new? What is this voice bringing forward? What about this story is unique that we think really could mean something, you know? And honestly, that's like some of the books you're going to see announced on Monday that are coming out in 2026. One of them, which I'll, name on Monday, one of our key editors, Ben White, he worked with this author for 2 years.
Oh my goodness.
To get it to the point where they were both happy about it. And they also realized as they were doing it that, oh my God, this isn't a book. This is actually minimally 2 books. And it was like, as they were going through the editing process, they realized what the real narrative arc was, what the real stories were within it. And I'll be honest, and I'll probably talk about this more on Monday. When I went through to read it, I haven't fully read the whole thing because it gives me nightmares. And by the way, this is a memoir. So, just a heads up. I personally adore it. I love it. I think it's something that it's one of those memoirs. It has to be out there. Right. But and someone, by the way, already stole it and is trying to sell it on eBay for like $100. I'm not kidding. The author found it and was like, did you guys post this? And I'm like, no, I don't even know how whoever this is got a hold of it, but someone in the UK managed to get a copy and is selling it on eBay for like $100. So,
one of his readers, maybe. One of their readers, maybe.
I don't know, maybe. I'm trying to think of like because we did send out preview paperback copies, right? Like we always do. And that's like just to piggyback a little bit on this. We actually, our standard process is, we go through, we have the interior formatted, the author has an opportunity to work on and review everything from the interior format to the cover design to, like ideas in terms of promotion and so on. But we have a standard list of, I think it's something crazy like 50 magazines, reviewers, and promoters that we always send a 1-pager out. And anyone who's watching a 1-pager is basically, it's like your log line. So that's like your hook line, a quick summary of the story, a little bit about the author, any key reviews we may have already gotten, any key blurbs, and then an offer to get an ebook version or a paperback. So we do get a lot of paperback requests through that. So yeah, Peter, maybe someone who got it early on, because it's also very relevant right now. And I know Cecilia and Peter both know what book I'm talking about, which you guys will find out soon. But let's just say it's very political and it's very relevant for a lot of the activities that are happening. So
yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll take it off of eBay because we put in a request for them to pull it since it's not up there with our permission. So yeah. So anyway, now that I've completely depressed the entire planet, what else is going on? We're already halfway through our 1 hour of Ask Us Anything. So guys, don't forget, any questions, go ahead and pop it into the comments section of whatever venue you are watching this in, and we will be thrilled to answer it. But in the meantime, Cecilia, Peter, anything you guys want to talk about?
I got a question. So once I hand the editing part over to you and to your staff, what happens next? How does it turn into a book?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So we have a product manager who
Hero.
Did you say Gerald?
A hero.
Oh, hero. I was like, oh my God, you renamed her. She might actually like that. So our product manager, who I 100% agree is absolutely amazing. Her nickname is Double E. And I don't know if she wants to be named this. That's why the only reason I'm doing that. Anyway, so Double E. So what she does is she sits down. Well, at first I pay everyone their royalties, and if I don't, I just tell people ping me, because it just means either like I probably got sidetracked with 500,000 other things. So anyway, everyone they get their upfront, and then Double E, she sits down and passes the manuscript on to our formatters. So we have a few formatters that we work with on a regular basis. We are so thankful for our formatters, because we're very blessed to have a couple right now who are really passionate about it and just are really doing really phenomenal jobs. And then I actually handle the ISBNs. So the ISBN is the unique identifier that is found on the back of any book. We actually have a library of ISBNs that we use. And then once I assign that ISBN to the specific title, and it's a different ISBN depending on the format, whether it be ebook or paperback. Audiobook's a little different. I'll explain that as well, because that is also part of the process. I provide the ISBN, including the barcode, to those two Double E, so that she can then share them with our book formatters. Then we also have one specific cover designer that we've been working with for like 8 years. It's Pulp Studios. If anyone's curious, I always get asked like, "Oh my God, who does this?" The founder of Pulp Studios, his name is Amir.
Okay.
And what Double E does is she gives him, like, here she works with the author to find out, like, so what are their ideas on cover design? Is there anything specific that they had in mind? That kind of thing. She works with the author on getting the author quote on any blurbs, all that kind of thing. She has a ton of like templates and like questionnaires to use to work with the author to gather this information. And then provides that back to both the interior designer and the cover designer. Those drafts then are brought back to the author so that they have an opportunity, if they want, to actually go through and, review the cover design, give any feedback, review the interior format, give any feedback they may desire. And then I usually do a quick skim, again, just for any like odds and ends before it's actually sent to our manufacturer. We primarily use right now IPG books, or their interior, the book manufacturing arm, I believe, is technically IPG Inc. So we provide all that. If there's anything really sexy that we think our marketing and sales teams would be really hot on, we make sure to submit all that key info. IPG has a bunch of forms that we fill out so that they can be made aware of whatever those things might be. And then we have to provide everything to IPG. Usually it's 9 to 12 months minimally before publication date. So that usually freaks people out a little bit. But I mean, that's how it is. In part, it's because they actually have a mandate that they have to have everything into their key retailers by a specific period of time prior to it being them actually even considering it to be on their shelves. So it's sort of like a trickle down effect, if that makes sense. So she will actually go back to the authors and say, okay, based on the book being done now and us having, the cover and all the everything we need, here are the recommended dates for the book to come out. It can come out after this as well. Let me know what your preference is. And I want to say 90% of the time, we actually we'll pick the date that the author requests. Every once in a while, we have an author who's like, I demand it come out in 4 months, right? and we'll do it. But but I always request a call with the author so that they understand what that means, right? Because a lot of times authors will demand it because like I can get it posted on Amazon like that. Why is this taking 9 to 12 months? And I just basically will sit down and like, look, what this means is it's not going to be represented during the sales and marketing conferences that occur 3 times a year at IPG. It's not going to get in front of the retailers. It's not going to get the visibility that it could or it should, right? So although you're going to see it available in Barnes and Noble, meaning online, right? You'll see it online at Amazon. You'll see it online in all these venues. It won't actually get the sales and promotion and marketing that it deserves, right? And we have no control over that. That is all about behind the scenes process, and that's just how it works. And sadly, the few people who have made that demand found out that it really did severely impact their sales.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there's not a whole lot I can do about that.
Mm-hmm.
And just as FYI, most books sell the majority of their sales within the initial 90 days prior or 90 days after the book is available. And it is because of that buzz, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's the buzz by the sales and marketing team. It's the buzz by the publisher. It's the buzz by the author. So something to keep in mind. Deborah asks, do you do audiobooks in-house? And so great piggyback, Deborah. So we actually do. We partner with ACX. So what we do is once the manuscript is complete, and we have the cover, we have all that, I will then post for potential producers and narrators on ACX. And then again, we ensure that the author is included in the conversations around who that narrator may be, right? Because they have a voice in their head, not to sound psycho, but they have some thoughts about, usually pretty passionate thoughts about what the narrator should sound like. So we will have the author engaged in that conversation. And our goal is to have the book come out around the same time as the ebook and paperback. That doesn't always happen, but we're working on streamlining that process, because admittedly, we only started doing that like a year ago. So we're both going back for our back catalog, looking for narrators for those titles if they don't have them already, and trying to and operationalizing the go forward process to make sure that everybody gets their audiobooks out as well. The other big question I get for this is that if you're the author, can you be the narrator of your own book? If you are willing to understand, that means you're going to do your own recording, you're going to produce your own audiobook, right? It means you're going to be submitting those audio files through ACX. It means you are going to have to be able to prove the quality level. It has to hit a certain quality level in order for it to be approved on ACX. If you're comfortable with all that, rock on, you're welcome to, right? So I don't know, Peter.
There's a certain, you got to realize that not everybody's voice is suited for radio.
Right.
Just like it's not, the voice has to be pleasant to listen to, because you're going to be listening to it for 2 to 8 hours at minimum. I mean, for acting jobs, they've got certain people who do voiceovers on TV. They have certain people who do handwork on TV because they've got the right body parts, the right vocal components to do that. So, I mean, yes, you can understand as an author, how to inflect a certain passage or how to tell a certain passage. But if your voice sounds like this, nobody's going to want to listen to it, kind of thing. So you got to take that into account too. You got to take ego out, put it on the table next to you, push it out the window,
Mhm.
and let the author, let the producer know what's going on. You can assist the voice actor, but maybe sometimes you don't want to be it, kind of thing.
Mhm.
No, that's an excellent point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've also had authors, and again, this goes back to, I think, Cecilia and Rod, you've made this inference as well. There are great things about working with a small press, and I honestly think, technically speaking, we're considered mid-sized because our catalog is so big and we put out so many great titles every year. But the reality, we're not going to bring in an orchestra with,
Maybe at the zoo.
yeah, with multiple voices, and this is not what's going to happen, right? That is not going to be your audiobook. Your audiobook is most likely going to be a singular voice that, and honestly, in my mind, it's more about, is this, to Peter's point, is this a voice that I want to hear for like 8 hours? Because most audiobooks are at least 6 to 8 hours, and does this sound, for me, does this sound like someone? It doesn't have to sound like one of the characters. It just sounds like someone's engaging enough that I want to hear them for 6 to 8 hours.
Mhm.
So, Rod says, authors, friends, demand is not a word that will help your career. Honestly, I think in any career, that is probably not a word that is going to assist you in, I mean, if you've got a really engaging reason for something, and I'd say more so having that reason behind whatever it is that you want to do, and being able to bring that argument forward and have a conversation about whatever that argument is, yes, that'll probably help you quite a bit. But coming in and saying, this has to happen in, whatever, there are so many factors involved. I think, to Cecilia, your point about asking, like, what happens after the book is,
Yeah, there's a lot.
yeah. And what I just described, guys, this is actually the bare minimum. There's like 100 other things that are going on along the lines. I'm just giving you like the double E version, right? Like what she has her hands in. But
the only person you really demand anything of is yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, demand your best work up front. Demand you stick the course. Demand you keep working. Demand you produce the best thing possible to give to the press, so that that our job is easier, because all we want to do is make it better.
Absolutely. And actually, that's a great point. I mean, so much of this is about, what do you have control over, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what do you have influence in? Because, and believe it or when you think about it, there's a shit ton of stuff that you have a lot of influence in, that you have direct control over, and owning that and acknowledging it and saying, you know what, now I know what I want to focus on, right? And what I can drive forward. That's huge. Some people never learn that.
Right.
But yeah.
You were asking about process earlier. Unfortunately, my writing process has been a little bit handicapped.
You owe me a book.
Editing process.
You still owe me a book.
I still owe you a book. Yes, it's coming. Thank you for asking. Thank you for demanding. But as far as editing goes, I take the first copy. In an ideal world, I read it all the way through, so I know the feeling and the weight of the book. Mm-hmm. And then I go through it and make my changes. Big changes, small changes, line editing. I don't separate them. I do everything that I think needs to be addressed. I ask questions. I make comments. I make little changes like, what do you think about this? My favorite thing is, can't you do better here? Because writers use cliches. It's like, no, I know you can do better here, but I'm going to be nice about it. Can you do better here? kind of thing. If they want to skate, don't skate on my watch. Skate on somebody else's watch. Somebody let you get away with it. So give them the novel back, and hopefully the third draft I get back, and it's better than this first draft.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it drops down to a draft and a half, and then it means even more work for me. And I had done with this last month, and fortunately, unfortunately, the writer said, "You're not doing this fast enough for me. I'm taking it back." And I'm like, "You made it worse. I would have had to spend twice as much time in the third draft that I spent on the first draft."
Mm.
And hopefully, in an ideal world, I get a better third draft. I make a few changes, send it back together for the fifth draft. I said I clean it all up. There's no comments, no questions, or anything in there. I say, "Do you approve this for publication?"
Mm-hmm.
And generally, 9 times out of 10, they say yes, and that's what we send to Lisa and Double E.
Mm-hmm.
That's the final draft. Draft's 5.5 that goes to the publisher. That's the draft. I have made that exception one time, and it turned out to be worth it. I'm still working on the final draft on that, draft number 6, and it's worth it. This writer really had it in her to make a great book, and I gave her that extra round because I really want to see what she could do with it, and I'm really happy with what she's doing with it. It's a fantastic book, and I'm really curious to see. I want a copy of it when it comes out. It's that good. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with what she was able to do with it. So it was worth the investment.
Mm-hmm. I have more of a Roomba approach. Like read it and kind of map it out and feel it as I'm going, right? And then I do make some comments, mostly global. I try to stay away from line edits at first, mostly global comments. Mm-hmm. So authors won't see a whole lot of comments at first. And then I'll give them global comments about everything that I loved and then opportunities for revision. Mm-hmm. And then the real work comes into the line editing. Once that's in shape, because I want the story, that story has to be there for me. Mm-hmm. And then once that's in place, then we can start to smooth out the lines and is this really a word choice you want to use? Do you want your readers drinking every time they come across this word choice? Because I've come across it many times. I've been tempted to take a drink. I have not. So, those are the things that come out later. So I'll do several passes like a Roomba. It takes me forever, but
that's discipline. That's a great approach.
That is discipline. Well, and guys, so we also get approached all the time, and Cecilia and Peter can attest to this, by Chautauqua or National Book Award or whomever, yes, and asking who do you want to submit? And I go to all my editors and I say, okay, guys, of all the books that you edited this, in this, that's coming out in this period of time, what ones would you say we need to submit? And so your editor is your advocate. I mean, mm-hmm. and honestly, I have a limit in terms of the number that I can actually submit. We're one of the, in the last 2 years, National Book Award actually gave us an incredible offer that instead of, I think their normal price is $450 a submission. And they offered us $99 a submission for, to bring it forward. We got approached by
books. That's because of Cecilia's books.
It's totally books. And we give
her a discount to get more of them.
I have one who was nominated for the National Book Award.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. That was really cool.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Awesome. And then we've gotten similar offers from Chautauqua, from I think Booker, so and Stoker, the Stoker Award. So anyone who's watching, if you're one of our authors, know that your editor is your advocate, and they're the ones who are getting pinged by me saying, hey guys, of all the things that you've put your hands on, what are the ones that you're like, oh my God, this is insane. Mm-hmm. And also, so we usually get a lot. Like, seriously, I'd say at least 20% of the titles that we put out every year get nominated for a ton of different awards. And actually, including in that, I also keep this in mind for the sales and marketing conferences that happen every year. I go back again because I'm only allowed to pick 3 to 4, something like that, books that are to be highlighted. And so I sit down with our editors and I ask them, okay, of all these books that are coming out during this season, what ones do you think could really just kill it? And those are the ones that I will then go back. And I think back to Cecilia's point about like what happens after you hand this in. If the book is selected to be featured, then I'll go back to the authors and ask them to give me a video, only like, a minute, if that, explaining like why they wrote this, right? Why is this important to them? Why are they passionate about it? And because honestly, it's that backstory, it's that the reason, that why. A lot of times when the sales and marketing team are going out to the retailers to promote the work, that's really what they want to know. They really want to know, like, why should I care? And oftentimes it's linked back to why did the author care? Why was this important? So Rod says, a writer writes, that's fun. An author works, steps up, and does what needs to be done. Set your ego aside, hear your editor, and market yourself and your book. That's actually good advice. Yeah, I think that's real. And honestly, in my opinion, the best editors are also writers themselves, because they are just really passionate about storytelling, and they've studied the craft from both an editing and from a narrative, a writer, a storyteller perspective. So
and we know how hard it is to write really good work. So we respect that.
I was actually talking to an agent who's a dear friend of mine. I want to say like 2-3 weeks ago. And I forgot this. She pointed out to me the majority of people who actually start to write a book, whether it be fiction or nonfiction or what have you, it's something crazy, like only like 5% actually complete it and actually get it published.
That's a big percentage.
So think about that. 5%. That means 95% of people either give up, or it just never, for whatever reason, it never actually makes it to readers. So yeah, so we definitely understand it. We definitely get it. And we want to make sure that what goes out there is the best that it absolutely possibly can be. So I'm really good at bringing people down for some reason today, but we've only got 2 minutes left. I don't know, guys. Rod says, really great to see you guys. Best wishes. Happy holidays. Same, Rod. Absolutely. I don't know if there's anything that Peter, Cecilia, you guys want to leave folks with?
Keep submitting.
Keep submitting. And if you're an author, the editing process takes lots of twists and turns sometimes. It's not always, same destination all the way through. It might be different work each time. So just keeping your mind open about the different possibilities of what editing might look like.
Excellent.
Have a process. I mean, it takes time on our end because we've got lives, we've got jobs, we've got everything going on. And if you have an issue, reach out to us. Send us an email. Give us a call saying what's going on. We'll explain it to you. I mean, don't just work everything up in your head and say, well, this isn't working for me, so I'm done. It's like, it's a two-way street. Actors, musicians, athletes, everybody has a manager. We're your manager. We're the ones that work with you to make the best product that you can possibly put out So work with us at the same time. We're your best advocate.
We are your biggest advocate. I mean, that's why we exist, you know. And with that, I'm going to leave everyone with this final thought. Don't forget to join our live stream on Monday, December 15th, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, where I will actually, everything that's going to be announced tomorrow at our huge internal kickoff for celebrate our 10-year anniversary, we will actually then make public on the 15th. So join us. Can't wait to see you guys there. As always, Peter, Cecilia, you guys are just, I mean, phenomenal. Duh. Rod, Deborah, thank you so much for all your great questions. Guys who are watching, you didn't ask a question. Don't be shy. We love questions. We love having the interaction with you guys. So with that, we will see you next time. Ciao.
Bye.